Hello everyone, this is Richard from Our Vision Graphics here, and today I bring to you another tutorial of how to create a simple flyer like this in Photoshop. So to begin with, we start with a new document and you rename it to our preference. I'm going to name it App Flyer, and the dimensions is going to be a width of 8 inches and 5 for the height. Resolution to 300, and we begin to create. Once you are greeted with this page, we'll go ahead to get a solid color for the background. So solid color, and this is going to be the hex code that we are going to use to get this exact color. So once we have this solid color, we go ahead to import images for the background as well. So we'll go here, file, place embedded, and you look for where we actually have our file. So yes, I go ahead to select this image. Of course, I'll have to get a duplicate of it. So I press Alt, and still holding on Alt, I drag it and I get a duplicate like this. Perfect. Once you have both images like this, it doesn't matter because I'm going to import an image to cover this size. So the inconsistency doesn't really matter. So I press Ctrl and select both images and convert them to smart objects. Once I have this, I change the blending mode of this image to the blending mode of this image. After I have this, I go ahead to introduce the second image for the background. I go to place embedded like we did initially, and I select this image too. So I press Ctrl T and I transform the positioning to something like this and make it slightly bigger. Let's say something like this is good. Something like this is good. And I change the blending options again. I change the blending options again from normal to lighten. I think lighten sets, 10 sets. So I like to bring down the opacity a bit, just slightly. Once I arrive here, I go ahead to bring in the image of the phone and the icon. Alright, so to get the Personalize app icon for the app I'm working with, I'm going to add the link to description to download this mockup in this video. So to change it to your preference, you actually hit on this and you are greeted with this page. You can delete it, and you can delete this as well, and go ahead to import the logo I'm working with here. I go ahead to import the logo and I resize it. Perfect. Once I resize it, I like to have just the logo without any fonts. So once I have it like this, I go ahead to get rid of this font here. Perfect. So another trick here is when you are working on mockup files, and you want to see the results after you edit the whatever you are doing, you can select window. And arrange, and you can this. So this way you actually have what you are working on, which is the app, but you want to change the app to what you are working on right now, and this as well. So once you have this, we can press Ctrl S to save it. So once it's saved, everything changes here. So if you want to, like, say, make slight adjustments, you can make it and press Ctrl S, and as you can see, it takes effects. So that is how you can work with mockups easily without no going back. You actually have the results in real time. So once you have this, press Ctrl S as we did and we close this. And we have the mockup here. So this is the mockup we are still working on. We can go ahead to change the window to just one. So yes, once you have this, you like to change the name of the app icon here. So app name, select on this and you type in the app name here. Breeze. So as you can see, we have the name of the app also here. So if we actually have this image and want to continue to use it for our projects and we are not going to make any changes, this is when we don't want to make any changes and this is the final image you like. So you can go ahead to select this and hold on shift and select this as well. We copy all this and we move out to our layer we are working on. This is the project we are working on. So here, I like to even group this background. So for the first and last one, select both of them, press Ctrl G and name it BG. So once you have that, you can lock it and we'll go ahead to import the image. I press Ctrl C to copy it already. So select on this, press Ctrl V and you have it here. So we can go ahead to make edits on how to resize it and all. So once we get it to the perfect size and position, we can move ahead to rename it as maybe phone mockup and lock it as well. So once we have this, we have both the phone and we are making some good progress here. So at this point, I go ahead to introduce the logo of the app we are working on, that is Breeze. So once you have the logo here, I like to use just the logo. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to select just this part and I mask it out. Perfect. Once I have this, I would like to take off the excesses. So the magic eraser tool, if you don't get it right after, you have to right click and you get it here. So magic eraser tool, you select this magic eraser tool, yes, and get rid of what was behind it. So we resize it and we are making some good progress here. So once you have this, you go ahead to bring in the name of the app, which I'll fast forward. So the name and other fonts. But if you want the exact font, I'm going to put it in the link in the description so you find it as well. So once we arrive at this page, you go ahead to boot these fonts. So from this one to the last one, to select this and refresh, select the last one, you press Ctrl G and you rename it to something like logo. So once you have something like this, we want to get a glass effect here. So we go ahead to hide this and take a screenshot. So taking a screenshot, you press Ctrl Shift Alt and E all together. You get something like this. Once you have something like this, you right click and you convert to smart objects. Right after that, you click on view. We click on filter, blur and Gaussian blur. And for the blur effect, we can kick it to whichever radius we want. And since it's a smart object, we can adjust it even after we want to make it more blurry or differently. So once you get this, it sets the radius to say 5.57. Take on OK. So we have this here, and this is how it looks with the layer, without the layer, and this is how it looks with the layer. So we go ahead to draw the square, the rectangle, or whatever you wanted to put here. So this is how I wanted it to be. I go ahead to add some stroke. For the stroke, I select on this gradient effects and we get something like this. So at this point, what we go ahead to do is to lock the layer, the second layer like this, and we bring the rectangle beneath it. once you have the rectangle, we meet it. In between the first layer and the rectangle, we hold Alt and we clip mask it. So once you get this sign like this, and click it. So once you click it, you can see that the blur effect is taking effects just on this part. So you see, once you bring it here, the blur effect, you can move it to wherever you want. Okay. So as at now, I like to add up more of the stroke to make the edges look more glossy. So the stroke, I'm going to set it to 2.5 here. And let's see how it's, yes, it comes like this, and I'll hold on this to round the edges slightly like this. So as you can see, we have our logo there, and can go ahead to bring the glass effects somewhere like this. Perfect. Once you have all this, you go ahead to import the logos for the various fonts for logos like the GAR and all that. So for the GARs, this is how I went about it. I import the image. I select the part I want like this, and I click on this. Right after I click on this, I remove the excess, deselect this, and I need the excess. This has to guess. So once I have it like this, I have to scale it down. Yes, I have to scale it down like this. So once I have something like this for the gas, I like to change it to quite radar. So still on the image, I press Ctrl and I to invert it, and I get a white image like this. So once I have it here, I go ahead to bring in the other logos as well. So this is the second logo. That is the AI. So for the AI too, once I successfully import it, has to be on top like this. Once I successfully import it, there are two options here, but I like to make it white. So I'll select this. So I'll select this part and mask it. Well, after I'm done masking it, I select this and I use the magic eruption to get rid of the remaining like this. So I use the magic eruption. As you can see, there's small excess like here. You take it off and you scale it down like this. You still it down like this. For the positioning, it doesn't matter now. We can go ahead to position it after we import all the signs. So this is the green one for health. And for the health, you go ahead to remove the background. So select the magic eraser tool, and let's see how it works here. Okay, it did the parts perfect. Not too perfect, but since you are going to scale it in, we are going to scale it down. There is not going to matter. So as you can see, you have the logo in green here, and you like to make everything be the same. So we change it to white, click on FX and color overlay, and yes, it's set to white already. So if you don't have it on white, you click here and you move it to white, and you change the blending options to normal. So in a case where you have the blending option to something else, sometimes we are not going to have white. Like if you have it on soft light, I'm not going to get the white color. So yes, once we get that, we have one more to go. So the last one, which is this, and fortunately enough, it was in a PNG form. So all we have to do is to change it to white. You simply press Ctrl I and you invert it to white. And we scale it down. Yes. So after all these are done, we have to make sure it's properly aligned and so the work looks neat and perfect. So we take care of the sizes and make sure they are all aligned properly and core. So here we go with the last ground and make it small. So we can go ahead to even introduce a U to make sure it is properly aligned and all. The size is the same and all that's like this. So as you can see, the gas is not totally centered and you can center it. And after here, you can go ahead to add the various fonts for the projects. Alright, so that was pretty much how I got the small icons to be in shape and all that. And mind you, if you want to adjust the blur, you can go ahead to adjust it. We can unlock it and you can change the radius of the blur and all that. And if you want to add more glassy effects, you can go to filter gallery, and here you get glass, so you can get a glassy effects and all that, all based on your options. So I like to add a glass effect. You see how it looks here. If you don't like it, you can turn it off here. Yes. So once we have the icons like I displayed initially, for tutorial's sake, I'm not going to type in the font as well. So I'm going to place an embedded image of all that I did. So yes, so for this load the icons, you have a fair idea of how to go about it. But for typing, I think everybody is convenient with that. Alright, so right after that, this is where we've gotten to and we are making some good progress. So we are left with just the logos of the app and Play Store. So we go ahead to import them as well. And as you can see, you take off the edges and the unwanted parts. So once you get something like this, you select the first one, which is the logo player, and remask it. After you mask it, you can resize it. So as you did for the first one, you go ahead to take away the unwanted parts again. Take away the unwanted parts, then in this stage you are going to select just the Apple App Store here. Alright. So resize it as well and make sure it's perfectly fine. Both of them are sized equally and all. So at this point, everything you do is based on your critical analysis, how you see this. So and you make sure everything is properly aligned. So introduce your ruler and make sure it's properly aligned and all that. Yes. So if this tutorial was helpful, kindly leave a like, subscribe, and follow my other social media platforms for tutorials of this nature. Until we meet again, I'm out.